So what do you think of when you hear the words jury duty? Did you just get a little bit anxious there? Well, for many people, this term brings, of course, to mind a civil obligation or a civic obligation. They also associate it with trials that are portrayed on television and films, right? So let's get the nitty-gritty, down to the wire answers with our guest today, Ernie Dukes, criminal defense attorney at Phillips Hunt and Walker and Hanna. Oh gosh, you guys have added the whole group, haven't you?
Right.
All right, you guys are powerful. I like it. So what does jury duty typically look like? Because like I said, we all kind of have our idea in our head, but lay it out for us.
So it usually starts off with, somebody going to the mailbox, finding their summons in there.
Right.
And then you have to show it. If it's federal court, there could be a questionnaire involved first, but then you basically just show up to the courthouse and you have the possibility of going to a courtroom where they'll ask you questions to determine whether or not you're fit for the jury that they're picking that day.
Interesting. So yeah, I have a girlfriend actually who was just dealing with this. I luckily have not been summoned yet. We'll see if that happens. But so I'm learning along with everyone else at home. So is anyone disqualified from serving jury duty?
Yes.
Oh, really?
If you have a pending criminal case, or if you're a convicted felon and you haven't had your rights restored, then you're not able to serve on a jury.
Now, would they potentially still get something in the mail and they find out later that, okay, never mind, you're not?
Yes.
Okay, so you could still get the summons. Okay.
Right.
How can someone get out of jury duty then, other than like having a criminal situation?
Well, so there are things that you can use to be exempt. Like if you're over 70, expectant mother, if you're a college student that's out of state, a military serving out of state, then you're exempt.
Okay, but what about during jury selection? Like you're kind of already in there, right? You've been there maybe all day. Is there a way to get out at that point?
I know what you're getting at, because that's one of the questions. One of the questions that I get asked all the time is, okay, I just got a jury summons. What do I need to say? What can I do to get out of this? And what I always tell them is that there can be magic phrases that you can use, because you've got a prosecutor and defense attorney, and they're trying to pick people that they feel are going to fit the fact pattern a little better.
Yeah.
So there are things that may make you not as good a fit.
Okay.
But we really need good common sense people to serve on these juries. So I would encourage you not to try to get out of it. Do your civic duty. And I mean, we need you. We need people like that to serve on these juries. I
actually think it would be really interesting, but like I said, I haven't been through it yet, so maybe it wouldn't be, but depends on, I guess, the trial at the time.
Sure.
But like you said, we need to, just go and do it. I think one thing that people get really nervous about, though, is their jobs. Could they potentially lose their job?
Right, and
they're going to be taken out, for a week or two or whatever.
Right, and there are. I mean, you've seen it in some of these big cases where they can be sequestered.
Oh yeah.
But no, there are things that are put in place to protect you.
And what ultimately is the purpose of jury duty? And just randomly selecting voters, right?
Sure.
If you've registered to vote, you can be
right. Well, and it's supposed to be a jury of your peers.
Okay.
And they basically hear the facts of the case, and they determine whether or not someone's guilty or not guilty.
Right.
And it's a system. It's not perfect by any means, but it is the best system in the world, in my opinion. And we've been using it for, well over 200 years, and it's gotten us to where we are today. And I think that it is highly dependent, though, upon people doing their civic duty, and it's dependent upon people with good common sense doing the right thing.
Right. Well, if somebody is interested in getting a little bit more knowledge from you, utilizing you for any of the services that you provide, how do they get in touch?
I'm sure. You give us a call at 904-444-4444.
Wonderful. Easy enough. Thank you so much for letting us know our rights. But again, if you get summoned, do your civic duty, but you know who you can turn to if you have questions. So thanks again.
Great.
And if you'd like to see this interview again, just head to our website, and that's firstcoastliving.net.